Hi everybody, welcome back to Samara Builds, where I'm building a better life. I've talked about a lot of the ways that I build a better life. I've talked about a lot of emotions and processing thereof. I lived with my grandma for part of my youth, part of my growing up. I can go into that whole story in detail in a different video, but because of that, I have a lot of stuff at her house. And as I've mentioned before, my mom died when I was little, and she has a lot of stuff at my grandma's house as well. And I have been collecting a lot of those things. Just as I go to my grandma's, I'll grab a box or two of either my stuff or my mom's stuff, and I've been going through it, and it's been an emotional roller coaster. It's been really cool to be able to go through some of my mom's things, some scrapbooks that she made and things like that. But I've also been able to go through a lot of my old things, which has been nice to sort of go down memory lane. Also sad, but it's good. A few of the things I have found that I am glad that my grandma held on to is some artwork that I did when I was little. And it's fairly heartbreaking to see that I was clearly in a lot of pain and grieving. And I've mentioned before that I wasn't really allowed to grieve or process my mom's death fully and in a healthy way. And I'm really glad that I had art. And that is something that I've kept through the years, is I do art as a way of processing emotions. And I'm not a good artist. I'm not like, oh, look at my artworks that are so wonderful. I just want to show you what I have done so that maybe you can get inspired to process some of your feelings, emotions, memories in a therapeutic way as well. I like art because you don't have to be good at it. You just literally put it out there. You don't have to show anybody. You don't have to talk to anybody about it. You can just pour your weird little heart out onto whatever medium you want to do. Make it as dark and as weird and as out there as you want. Really get weird with it. And it's okay. Like I said, you don't have to show anybody. And if you do, you're just it's just art. Sorry if you don't understand. It's great. It's a win, win, win on top of win. So yeah, I don't love always showing my art to people, especially my more therapeutic art pieces. But I want to share and be vulnerable so that you can be inspired, be vulnerable. I think the world needs more vulnerability. So I'm going to share some of my pieces with you, and then after this, I'm probably going to go do a new one. We'll see. This is one of the ones that came from my grandma's house. This is on the back of a receipt or something. And I love that it just shows you really only need a pencil and paper. But this is me and my dad crying about my mom at her funeral. This is a school notebook for school, and this is the back of it. And I love that it is just really a memory. I'm just doing memory therapy art here. Once again, this is me crying at my mom's funeral and my mom up in heaven. And there's lots of flowers. My mom loved flowers, and there were a lot of flowers at her funeral. My therapist points out how great it is that my mom really looks so peaceful in all the drawings that I do of her. Even though I'm incredibly sad, she's at peace, which is nice. Another drawing of my mom in heaven with Jesus. On the tree it says, S loves mom. That's me. And then this next picture, I think it's just what I wanted most in my life. So my mom, a fairy godmother, and money, which is just great. Now for the cringiest art of all. I can't believe I'm showing you this. This is all the art I did as a teenager. At the time, I thought it was so deep and like nobody could understand. But looking back, it's like, yeah, we get it. You were very depressed. Very, very sad, depressed girl. And that is okay. This is a painting about how anxiety feels. I love the way it turned out. I think it's very accurate for me. This one I painted the first time after I tried to commit suicide. This one is about how I feel about my dad. And then this one is loneliness. Depression. Depression again. And now my favorite painting about depression. I think for people it's easy to look at this and only see the darkness, but when I painted this I was extremely depressed, and it actually was so hopeful for me to see that I produced this in my dark state, because I could see all of the color and all of the light spaces. And so I think this just really shows that it really is in the eye of the beholder. These are pretty self-explanatory, just self-portraits showing me in different states. And then this is one of my favorite. It's just my hands and how I feel in my body. Now for my favorite, abstract art. I love it because just do as weird of stuff you want to do. It doesn't even have to look good at all. It doesn't even have to be like proper picture. It can just be shapes. Literally nobody else has to understand anything else about it. It is so liberating. Highly recommend. Poems are always a great way to go if you're not big into like art and you're better with your words. Try poetry. It can be awesome. Or you can just try copying another painting. And then if someone in your life has hurt you or something, do art about them. It's the best. You know how they have like wine and paint nights? I want to do like a weird therapeutic art night. So if you're down, raise your hand in the comments and I will plan something, because I think that sounds really fun. Because I think that like grief and pain and anger and, you know, all these bad feelings, bad emotions, the ones we don't want to feel, the ones we don't want to talk about, are important to feel and talk about, especially in community, because that reduces shame. So I think we should be weird and vulnerable and feel our feelings in a group setting more than we do. This is my weird hot take of the night. But I do want to see your art projects, so share them with me. Post a little picture. Tell me about it. Inspire me. I love weird art. I love dark stuff. Clearly, I have some dark art just right behind me, and I love it. If you're having a hard time, I feel ya. Paint it out. Make a sculpture. Something. All kinds of art you can do. Draw it. Write a poem about it. Poems are awesome. There's so many ways to express yourself and all of your emotions. So try one. And if that doesn't feel right, try a different one. Because like I said, nothing matters. Nobody cares. Thanks for watching, compadres. If you watched the whole video, guess what? You should like it and subscribe. And let's be friends. Okay? Thank you. All right. Bye, guys.